Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and shocking divorce news. Tom Brady and Giselle are parting. A lot of people were surprised. I wanted to get to the truth behind what's this really mean, because they got so much money. I brought in celebrity divorce attorney Christopher Melcher. You've been out there on the talk shows offering your insight on this. I thought, hey, bring it here. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, Christopher. How you doing?
Good, Andy. Yeah, it's good to be here. And yeah, it's kind of watching this story unfold here over these last few days. And it is surprising how much attention is on this thing.
Now, as a celebrity divorce lawyer, do you see this headline? You just go, ooh. do you guys all just sort of see in the press and like, oh, I got to see if I can get a piece of this? How does it work?
Yeah, so one, it's a Florida case, and I'm a California lawyer, so I wouldn't see a piece of it. Number one, and number two, like my thing is different. I'm sick of this stuff. Honestly, I am so tired of this. Like
you've done it for a while.
Yeah, I've been doing it 28 years, and it's just like I wish the best for folks. I hope that they. My thought is like, wow, that's too bad. They got young kids. I hope that they work it out. I hope that they don't get divorced. So I don't look at it, but I'm sure other hungry lawyers are probably.
Because you got to be, I imagine this is going to get ugly. Now, honestly, we don't know what's going on. There's a lot of speculations that he's very hurt, that she hired the lawyer first. I can't confirm or deny. Do you know for a fact who like filed the attorney first? Is that usually a sign that we can take as sort of clearly that's where this is spurring?
Well, we don't know that anything has been filed in Florida. There's reports that each of them now has spoken with a divorce lawyer. I don't know who those lawyers are, so that hasn't been identified. And, look, there's lots of reasons why people will talk to a divorce lawyer. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get a divorce. Sometimes people will, if they have a dispute over finances, sometimes they'll just do a financial divorce, and they'll talk to lawyers for that reason and just saying, look, let's separate our stuff out, have a different financial arrangement between the two of us, and they'll engage lawyers for that. Or it could just be like, hey, we're done with this marriage and let's get the process underway.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation as to what he feels hurt by her, and that is that sometimes like their publicists, like when this sort of stuff gets leaked out and we start hearing these like he's hurt or she's hurt or she didn't want him to be doing the newest season with the Buccaneers. He was supposed to come home. When these sort of things leak into pretty respectable outlets, is that usually like PR teams behind them trying to do that? What how can we gauge that stuff that we're reading?
Sure. So, not every celeb or couple has a great PR team going on. Some do, and they're in control then of what the messaging is, and they'll test different things. Others, just don't have it. So if they do have, kind of organized PR going on, then they would be leaking these messages and kind of testing stuff out. Now, look, People Magazine, it's not the New York Times, but they're definitely going to source some stuff. So they're not going to just print, false or random info. So somebody connected to them is leaking this information out. Sometimes it's done with approval of the party. Sometimes it's not. So we will see leaking happening from a law firm or accounting or personal assistants because they're trying to curry favor for other reasons. So, it's hard to know all that kind of stuff until somebody officially says something. But yeah, definitely there's some messaging going out. The Tom messaging is, I'm kind of hurt. I don't want this. It's very saddening. She wants me to kind of stop working. We're kind of hearing messaging from that.
Yeah.
Some messaging from Giselle's side is,
this has always been the problem. This is nothing new. This is probably more Giselle's, right?
Yeah. Like, hey, I want to spend time, want him to be more engaged with the family and spend time with kids. And, hey, maybe this is all true. And it is hard when anytime you have a couple that are both working a lot or have different interests, that makes them live separate lives, and you sort of forget about why you were a couple to begin with. And here there's certainly no money issues. There's so much money. And so that can't be the problem. It's just going to be availability and shared interests. And when you're not available to each other, you don't have the interest anymore, then it's kind of like, well, hey, like, why are we doing this? Let's just go our separate ways. And it could be as simple as that.
So unlike Brad and Angelina, it does seem like, the quote here, the source from Giselle is doing fine. She's getting her stuff in order. They are both over fighting for their marriage, and it's happening now so they can do their own thing and move on. And yes, there are children involved, which always makes this a little sadder. There was the picture of the family has been out there, but yeah, he's back and playing with. He was supposed to retire, and then he unretired. That was always sort of she didn't want him to, but a lot of the reports out here are saying this is sort of not a surprise to people in the know. But I guess the big question is like the money. Now, when something like this happens, like he's very wealthy, Tom Brady, massive amount of money. Again, these are not accurate numbers. They're guesstimates that Celebrity Net Worth puts out there, but his net worth 250, 30 million. But I didn't know this according to them. And I've heard people actually allude to this, but yeah, she's worth more. I don't know. She has some footwear company. She's been modeling for years, but when you combine this together, almost $1 billion couple here, how is this going to sort out? Do you think this is actually going to be easier than most of us think, that they're just going to divide the assets fairly since they have each so much money of their own accord? Does that make a divorce like this easier or harder?
It makes it easier. It's sometimes people have this really sick controlling thing over money, but here they're both self-made, very wealthy people. So these divorces are much easier. It's the hardest, my nightmare divorce case would be if, we're fighting over $250 a month in child support, because that would be the most difficult and important case that I would probably handle, because to that family, that's all the money that they have. And it's like, you can't make mistakes there, because it's like every dollar literally counts. Yep. Here, like, okay, this is just stupid amount of money. And everyone's going to be fine. Nobody's going to want for anything. So that makes it easy. I think what's complex about this is the amount of attention. And I was surprised. I know it's a popular couple, but must have been a kind of a slow news day when some of this started to break and take off, because honestly, it's like, okay, big deal. It's like a couple, they break up. This happens all the time, and all of a sudden now it's this huge story, and there's so much attention on it that usually what I would see in this kind of progression is a big step back by the couple, and maybe even a public announcement if they can get on the same page on a statement like, hey, we're all cool, thanks for your attention, but we're just take some time, we're all good. Or if they don't want to say anything, they're seen in public. So they're going to trot around a little bit publicly. With the kids or something to show a united front kind of thing. Yeah. And that's important because it buys them time and some privacy to work these issues out. Because right now, with this much attention on it, they can't make a move. I mean, everything's being questioned. It's hugely distracting to them. So my guess is we're going to see the, trotting around photos this weekend, or, she's got her ring on and doing this with the ring, whatever, really publicly, statements of, hey, we're all cool, so they can buy some time to work it out. And then once the story dies down, we fast forward 3-4 months, let the lawyers and accountants do their work. And then they're like, hey, we've, parted ways, but we're great and we love each other still, and we're going to parent wonderfully kind of statement.
Yeah, I mean, they're already out there doing that. You're absolutely right. Like she hasn't been to any of the 4 games he's done this season so far. That's interesting. It reminds me of like when Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin did we're uncoupling. I think it was them who did that sort of public plea. It is that when you see those signs, it's interesting. I haven't really thought about it. That's clearly like, all right, let's try to dampen this and be adults about it. So hopefully we'll see that. Yeah, I mean, I feel for the kids. I don't really feel for them. They got enough money to sort this out. Even if they want to go to the mattresses and really fight it out in court, they still can afford to do that. And it won't even really affect them at the bottom line. But you expect this is probably a truth. This has been an ongoing thing. There's going to be sad emotions, etc. But you expect from seeing these for the past 20 plus years, you expect this one to not turn ugly.
Oh yeah, it doesn't appear that anything is going to go ugly. They're both, seem like they're handling it well. There's no flashpoints. There's no, cheating allegation that we're hearing. There's no abuse allegation that we're hearing. So this is just like, hey, they're growing apart. And, a lot of people will wait for their kids to get older. But honestly, there's no great time to get a divorce for a kid. And, sometimes it's just, hey, rip the Band-Aid off and move forward. The kids are going to be fine.
Well, I appreciate that insight as always. He brings the truth here, the honesty. And if you want to follow it, go over on Twitter, CA_divorce. Christopher, always a pleasure having you. And he's going to be there in Vegas with us out November 4th. I hope you'll be there for our big meetup to meet us, hang out with us. So many of you guys are coming. Can't wait to see you all. Christopher, can't wait to see you as well. Thank you for being here as always. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, guys. And stay tuned here. Hit that bell as well. Sorry, smash the like. I'm looking at it as I show it. Leave your comments. What do you think? Do you believe us or you think we're wrong, where it's going to get ugly and heated? Share your thoughts down below, and thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.